You ever go on a diet, drop a bunch of weight and somehow end up looking worse? Like smaller, softer, just a bit meh. You lose the belly, but your arms disappear too. Chest flattens out, clothes hang off of you. You don't look lean, you don't look strong, you just look skinny and untoned. This is a big issue with guys who are trying to fix their whole skinny fat dilemma. Because if cutting makes you look worse, then what's the point? Well, today I'm going to go through the exact process that I use with my skinny fat clients to help them get leaner whilst also looking more jacked in the mirror. So you can actually shred up while looking better in the process and not just smaller and softer. So let's get stuck in. Okay, so let's start by identifying the 3 key errors that guys like to make which causes the wrong kind of weight loss. So the first one is lack of fuel. Most guys don't really know how to manage their nutrition correctly. And if I'm going to be completely honest with you, in my experience coaching hundreds of guys through that initial shred phase, one big thing that I notice when they start assessing their food tracking is a lot of guys actually eat like a bloody child. So if you combine lazy convenience food choices with the I gotta drop as much weight as I possibly can as fast as I can mentality, it is a one-way ticket to an absolute shit show of a diet. I'm sorry to say. Basically, with this lack of fuel error, it's stupid low calories and piss poor food choices, which is going to combine together to make sure that you're not going to maintain any muscle. But don't worry, we're going to fix all that, so stick around. Right, key error number 2 is doing the wrong type of workouts. So if you want to look lean and jacked, you actually need to have a decent bit of muscle mass that needs to get revealed once you've peeled away those extra layers of flab. You kind of established this already. I'm sure you already know this, but tell me, why do guys immediately start changing the type of workouts they do to a bunch of cardio, circuit training, CrossFit, high rocks, fat burning exercise crap, and abandon the thing that actually grows you the most amount of muscle, which is lifting heavy things up and down? Not lifting lighter things up and down for more reps or faster or back to back with other exercises. Yes, I know we want to burn more energy than we eat in order to lose weight. But it doesn't mean you're supposed to abandon your weight training and replace it with just a bunch of cardio and fat burning shit. It doesn't work like that. So finally, moving on to key error number 3. This is for the guys who haven't totally abandoned weight training, but they're still not quite getting it right. And this key error is lack of intensity. It's another slightly smaller mistake, but it still ends up resulting in the same problem, which is you lose muscle and you end up looking skinny. It's this belief that some guys have that higher reps and lighter weights somehow manage to rip you up and tone you up in the gym. This belief isn't quite as unforgivable as guys who just move to doing a bunch of cardio, but nonetheless it's still a critical mistake to make. To put it in a really simple way to understand, because you're not pushing your muscles hard enough, they're not going to want to stick around because they're not required. If you combine this kind of run training style or lack of intensity with key error number 1, which is lack of proper fuel, you're fucked. It's a very fast track way to losing all your gains and keeping you looking skinny and soft when you're just trying to shred up. So those are the 3 errors keeping you looking skinny fat when you're trying to shred up. So how about we move on to the solutions? By the way, if you want the entire system on how to fix it for good, I break this down step by step in my skinny fat to lean and jacked 4-phase deep dive video. I will drop somewhere in this video for you to move on to next. Right, solutions. So we've had the 3 key errors. Let's talk about the 3 keys to shredding without shrinking. Basically the opposite of the errors. Key number 1, instead of lack of fuel, it's to fuel up right. So how do we do that? So yeah, the only way to lose fat is by being in a calorie deficit and dropping weight, just in case anyone out there doesn't realize this. That's another discussion for another video. Just because we got to shred the pounds, it doesn't mean you got to go on some super crazy, super strict diet. It doesn't mean you got to live off cereal bars, chicken salads, and absolutely starve yourself. So yeah, whilst we do have to keep the calories down, in order to keep, or for some guys actually build on that muscle, there is one thing that you have to absolutely treat as your number 1 priority in pretty much every single meal. Protein is king. Protein, that's a macronutrient that's going to be the biggest factor in helping you build muscle mass and a jacked looking physique. Ultimately, the aim of the shred phase is to keep the calories nice and low, so we're shredding up to, sort of around 1 kilo a week if you can, but the protein to be as high as possible so that you're losing the right kind of weight. So how much do we need? There's different numbers being thrown around by research, but a really good minimum target to go for is somewhere around 2 grams of protein per kilo of your target lean body weight. So if you're like 80 kilos right now and you know you probably need to shift close to another maybe 10 kilos, then you would do 2 times your target weight of 70. 2 times 70 is 140 grams a day. This amount needs to be your primary focus when you are choosing what meals you're having during the day. So there's a few methods that we use on my coaching program with my clients to help them do this consistently with meals that work for you individually. But a quick method to note is that we break that overall daily target down into individual meal targets. It's much less overwhelming then. If you're trying to hit like 140 grams a day, it could be something like 30 grams for breakfast, 40 for lunch, 50 for dinner, and then maybe 20 grams of a little protein snack somewhere in between your meals. Key number 1 summary. You need to fuel up like a man who's trying to get jacked. High protein in every meal, meals that can actually satisfy you, and a calorie deficit that is aggressive but smart and not completely savage. The goal isn't necessarily eat as little as possible. The goal is to eat the most amount of fuel that you can while still losing weight, losing fat at a decent rate. So you're still able to train hard, recover well, and keep your muscle, maybe even grow some muscle during this phase. Right, key number 2 is to train or work out to build. This solves error number 2, which is doing the wrong kind of workouts. Get the fat burning circuits or the cardio crazy classes. That stuff just makes you burn a few extra calories. It doesn't actually make you look jacked or retain any muscle. It really doesn't help. So to keep and hopefully build some muscle while you're shredding, your workouts need to be structured for growth, even when you're in a deficit, even when you're in a shred. Let the nutrition and keeping your daily step count nice and high, let that take care of your weight loss. And let's use our gym time to focus on muscle building. That means heavy resistance training, aka bodybuilding style training. Low to moderate reps, not fucking 20, 30, 40, 50 rep circuits. Somewhere in that 6 to 12 rep range is probably the best sort of range for you to be in. A smart and effective volume of push and pull movements across your workout plan so you're hitting all your muscle groups consistently, frequently, and in a balanced way to grow a balanced, well-jacked looking physique. You don't need to train every day or double up on the cardio like an idiot. You just need to train smart. 3 to 4 weights workouts per week, if done correctly, is more than enough to help reveal a more jacked looking body during a shred phase. A really popular training split with my clients that I've talked about in quite a few of my other videos is that front back push pull split. Got a free program that uses this exact split and you can get your hands on it. I will leave a link in the description below. So if you're looking for something more structured to follow, my 2-set shred program in the link below, go grab it. Not only does it give you a really effective layout for your workout program, it also takes you through key number 3. Finally, key number 3 is real intensity. Let's handle error number 3, which is lack of intensity. A lot of guys think they're training hard, but they're really just sort of like moving around and being busy and just sweating a bit. Lighter weights, faster reps, hoping to feel the burn. Spoiler alert, it doesn't really work. It really won't cut it when it comes to getting jacked, especially while you're shredding down. In order to hold on to that muscle or even grow some muscle during a deficit, your body needs to feel like it actually fucking needs it. How do we make that happen? Ramp up the intensity. So we do it like this. We do fewer sets, not more sets. Most guys doing loads of sets or circuits or supersets, it's just one exercise after the other, one set after another. The only reason you're able to do all of these extra sets, all of these extra exercises is because you're not actually pushing yourself hard enough in the individual sets alone. So we look to increase your quality instead of your quantity. Next thing we focus on slow eccentrics, proper form, full range of motion of course, because at the end of the day, time under tension in your muscles is what's going to cause them to grow and develop for you to build a well-rounded physique. But working hard, it doesn't mean doing everything as fast as you can with like a mean face on you. This isn't a movie, this isn't a Rocky montage, that's not how you build a decent physique. Finally, the most important point in nailing that intensity is practicing failure. So, assuming we're now actually doing the right kind of training, exercises, sets and reps, etc. Now we got to make the most of it. So again, coaching hundreds of blokes, helping them go from skinny fat to lean and jacked. Something we do with my guys is video feedback. So they send me videos on WhatsApp of some of their working sets each week for me to break down and review. And a very common thing that guys suffer from is basically quitting early. Lifting until they think they're done, but not actually physically done. So something that I really highlight with my clients and I push them towards practicing is actually reaching physical failure. All that involves is a very simple thing which you can check visually if you record your sets. Your last rep of that set, it should be incomplete. That's the only way to know 100% if you've actually hit anything close to failure, by literally failing. See, it's way too easy for that last rep to be feeling like, oh, it's burning a bit and it feels unpleasant, and for you to decide in your head like, yeah, we're done, and just to quit early and put the weight down. But if you film it and review it, you'll probably notice that last rep moved up just as quick as the first rep. It's like, it might have felt uncomfortable, but it looked very comfortable. And you might start to learn, you might start to realize you've actually got another 2, 3, 4, 5 reps left in the tank in that set. And ultimately how much you may have been holding back in your past workouts. Again, this is something that I go through in my 2-set shred method, doing fewer sets, but making every single one of them count. Again, grab that free program and the link in the description if you need it. So, in summary, to shred fat without shrinking down into a little string bean, fuel your body like someone who trains. Train to build, not just to sweat. Push your workouts with real intensity and practice failure. Sounds really fucking obvious, but do those 3 things, do it properly. You will be shocked at how much better you look after doing a shred phase properly. I hope you found this video useful. Please feel free to comment anything at all, any questions or anything you want to say below. I'm all ears. If you want the full system, not just a few tips to help you go from skinny fat to lean and jacked, I break it down in my 4-phase deep dive video, which I will link somewhere around in this video. This is the full 4-phase playbook that I use with my clients, so go check that out next, and I'll speak to you soon.